We want lights on or lights off? On. Both.
You know, that light switch is also a light, so they can be half on, half off.
Wow.
Yeah.
20 years here and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trained observer. Okay, we're going to talk about extinction. This may be a little bit familiar to you. If you've ever had a brother or a sister who teased you, raise your hand. Yeah. Okay, and your mother probably said to you, after you cried in pain and great suffering following the teasing, your mother said, just ignore it. Right? Your mom was talking about the principle and the procedure called extinction. Okay? So we're going to walk through a number of examples about extinction and have hopefully some conversation. So, extinction is a basic principle of behavior. We've got lots and lots of research with infrahumans and human beings demonstrating the effect of extinction. Widely used. So, extinction is when we stop the presentation of a reinforcer for a previously reinforced behavior. And that behavior decreases in frequency. When we observe that relationship, then we know we have extinction as a procedure being employed. We're going to stop the presentation of the reinforcer for a previously reinforced behavior. And that behavior will decrease in frequency and be less likely to occur in the future. Okay? So, two critical features about that definition. We're going to stop the presentation of the reinforcer, and when we do that, if it is extinction, that behavior will decrease in frequency. If it doesn't decrease in frequency, then it ain't extinction. Okay? When we have extinction and we're using that procedure, we describe the behavior that ceases to occur as having been extinguished. The behavior is extinguished when it goes to zero occurrences. It is extinguished. Like when you use a fire extinguisher, right? To put out a fire. You don't say the fire is extinct. You say the fire is extinguished. It is no longer burning. So when we employ extinction and the behavior is no longer occurring, that behavior has been extinguished. Metaphorically, put out. Okay? How are reinforcement and extinction related? Here's our contingency diagram once again. Okay, now notice we've got Eno the rat in the chamber again, where he spends several hours a day each day, except he has weekends as holidays. Okay. So, whose behavior? Eno the rat. What behavior? Lever press. What event is presented, removed, or stopped following the behavior? We're on extinction. We are stopping the presentation, okay? So in our reinforcement contingency, lever press, we present food as a reinforcer. If food is a reinforcer, the lever pressing will increase in frequency and future probability. What's in the before condition? No food. Because food is contingent on the lever press. If the lever press occurs, then food will be presented. That's review of last week. Okay? Now on to the bottom half. We're still analyzing Eno's behavior. Lever press, contingent on the lever press, we are going to stop the presentation of food. What's in the before condition? No food present. Okay? Extinction. Your handy dandy garage door opener. Whose behavior? Your behavior. What behavior? You are pressing the button on the remote control. We ask our next question, what event is presented, removed, or stopped? And what we have is contingent on the button press. The garage door is open. We present the opening of the door. In the before condition, no reinforcer present, no garage door open. Okay? Now, extinction. You engage in the same behavior, button pressing. But because it's extinction, we're going to stop the presentation of the reinforcer. We're going to stop the opening of the garage door. What's in the before condition? Garage door is not open. There is no reinforcer present. We are stopping the presentation of a previously reinforced behavior. Extinction. Here's your water bottle. Maybe you were over at the rec center working on the treadmill, the elliptical, the bicycle, running laps or something. And you have your handy dandy water bottle next to you on that treadmill thing, and you're guzzling it periodically, right? You tip the water bottle into your open mouth, and what do you have? What is being presented? Water is being presented in your mouth. What's in the before? No water presented in your mouth. Water is presented contingent on tipping the water bottle into your mouth. Now, you've been doing this for a while, right? So the amount of liquid in the water bottle is going down. Eventually, so the bottle is empty. But what do you catch yourself doing? Tipping the water bottle to your mouth. If it's extinction, we're going to stop the presentation of the reinforcer for the previously reinforced behavior. We're going to stop the presentation of the water in your mouth. But you keep doing it, don't you? Eventually, that behavior will cease to occur. And then a few minutes later, what happens? You do it again. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Okay, extinction. Williams. This is one of the first demonstrations of the use of extinction with human beings. Okay? So, this is from the book, so you take a peek at it there. This is just a different way to look at it because students struggle with the contingency. Students struggle with the relationship between the behavior and the outcome. And that's why we're doing contingency analysis. And it's only going to get more fun in the next lesson when we do differential reinforcement. Okay? So I urge you, get on YouTube, walk through this again so that you can master the contingency analysis. Because down the road we will have discrimination. And then things get a little bit more exciting with more complex contingency analyses. Okay? So, Williams. Let's look at the reinforcement contingency. We're analyzing the kid's behavior. Okay, what behavior is the crying? So, kid cries when placed in the crib. Contingent on that behavior, what is presented, removed, or stopped. We have to look at what is following that behavior. And in this case, what follows the behavior is the presentation of attention from mom or dad, most likely mom, right? What's in the before condition? No attention. Kid cries, we present more attention. So the crying behavior is being reinforced by mom's attention. Now, if you're a new parent, this is common. This can turn into a real nightmare. So pediatricians tell parents to let the kid cry it out. In other words, let the kid cry, but use extinction. Stop presenting the reinforcer for a previously reinforced behavior. And that behavior will cease to occur and be less likely to occur in the future. So, mom puts the kid in the crib, the baby cries, she's going to stop presenting her attention. What's in the before condition? No attention. Williams, 1959. Let's talk about an extinction burst. This is quite common. It occurs in about 33% of the cases of human beings, maybe a little bit higher. This occurs in the first part of the first extinction session. An extinction burst occurs in the first part of the first extinction session. And we have an increase in the frequency, duration, the strength of responding in that first part of the first extinction session. So what does this mean? When we implement extinction, it's very likely there will be a burst of responding in that first part of the first session. The behavior will increase in frequency, duration, force, strength, and then it will gradually go down. So that burst in responding will be above previously observed levels. And then it will go down. So in everyday loosey-goosey language, it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's what you will observe. The burst. And then it will go down. So you need to be prepared. If you're going to use extinction, you need to be prepared for the burst. And just hang tough, because it will subside. The rate of responding will decrease. You just have to be prepared. Know that it's going to happen. Oh, okay, cool, this is a burst. I know it's coming. Hang tough, and it will decrease in frequency. The burst. Now, extinction produces some other behavior besides the burst. During the burst, we have a change in the shape or the form of the behavior. We have a change in the shape or the form of the behavior during the burst. So if we went back to Eno the rat in our operant chamber, and the behavior was lever pressing, and Eno was shaped into pressing a lever with his right forepaw. Hammer that lever, food presented. Now we're going to shift to extinction. So that right forepaw lever press is now on extinction. We're going to get a burst. Eno's going to go brat, brat. Increase in the rate of responding. Topography is going to change. That little rat is going to push the lever further down and harder with more force, changing the shape or the form of movement. And then that little rat's going to shift to two paws and hammer away on that lever during the burst. We get a change in the shape or the form of the behavior during the burst. In other words, what we see, what we observe, are novel forms of the behavior. We see different behaviors emerging due to extinction. Okay? Now, what we also observe, not all the time, sometimes, we observe emotional behavior. Frustration, anger, sometimes aggressive behavior. Because the previous behavior was not being reinforced. And all these other behaviors are likely to occur. Frustration, anger, aggressive behavior. Have you ever been driving down the road? Oh, not even the road, the parking lot. That's a better place. You're at the grocery store parking lot. Maybe Wally Mart, Costco, whatever. Big store parking lot. And you're cruising down nice and slow through the aisle there between the cars, right? And you spy an open parking space. And you're getting ready to turn into it, and what happens? Somebody cuts you off and takes the spot. Are you frustrated? Are you a little bit angry maybe? You flip them off? You engage in cursing? Your behavior of driving into that parking space has just been put on extinction. The reinforcer for your driving behavior has been stopped, that parking space. And then you get all this other behavior. Emotional behavior. Frustration, you might be angry, you might honk on the horn, flip them off, crash your car into their bumper. Oops, sorry, didn't see you there. Okay, yeah.
So like with the baby in the crib,
Yep.
I know because my parents did it with my brother because they wanted him to sleep in his bed, and he would have bursts where he would scream more and throw a tantrum. And,
Perfect. That's a burst.
and then it went away eventually.
Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they hung tough, right?
Yeah.
Was it easy for them?
No.
No, it's not easy to go through that extinction procedure, to be the implementer. You have to just be consistent, consistent, consistent. Did they know, did someone tell them that the burst was coming?
No.
They were surprised. Whoa, this is getting really
Because
bad.
usually he'd cry, my mom would give in and then let him go sleep.
Ooh,
with
bad,
my mom.
bad,
And my
bad
dad
move.
said, no more.
So let's walk through this. This is a great example. Okay? So they put Junior, your brother, into the crib. He starts to wail and cry. They're doing pretty good putting that crying behavior on extinction. And then mom says, I can't take it anymore. Now, listen carefully. So Junior's wailing and crying more forcefully than ever before, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the novel behavior. Changing the force, the strength, the amplitude. So it's way up here now, and then mom gives him attention when the behavior is worse than before. And now she's just turned him into a little monster. Yeah. So now dad says, no, we're going to do this. Just do this. Except because mom reinforced the behavior at its height, it's going to be more difficult for both of them. So if you're going to do extinction, you got to hang tough. You don't want to have that reinforcement sneaking in. That's called bootleg reinforcement, by the way. There's the end. Short and sweet. Okay? That was a great example. Mr. Sawyer.
What?
Come on down.
Should I keep rolling?
No, no, no.
Okay.
We're rolling.